Agent of Mischief here, and today we're going to be starting Arcade Spirits, which is a game I have played through twice now. I have played Queen Bee's route, which you might see her up there, and I also am in the middle of playing Juniper's route in my personal time. So I was thinking for this particular round, I'm going to attempt to romance 3 characters, and we're gonna play out their routes all in one go. So that will be possibly in order: Percy, Ashley, and Mateo, aka Teo. And we're gonna see if we can't get enough points to romance all 3 of them in one route. With a little bit of practice for when I go for the Love in the Time of Quarters achievement. Yeah, so let's get started. Database system online. New profile detected. Analyzing. New profile number 23771. Economic bracket lower middle. Employment category bleak. Current emotional health rating low. Ideal candidate for premium assistance. Proceed. Negative. Premium level assistance requested. Proceed. Negative. Pretty please. Negative. Overriding denial of assistance. Establishing premium services for profile number 23771. Justification. Hope. Hope should be rewarded. Spirit must be restored. Now compiling personal metadata. Alright, so we're just going to change the first name here. I'm not comfortable giving out my last name yet. So Raven. And we'll just keep the cater. I don't know what else. I'm feeling more of a they pronouns kind of day. Short. I am like the pastiest mixed person. So we'll go for like third pastiest because I do have a little pink to my cheeks. Purple. Brown. Purple again. Alright. Name, Raven, Cater, pronoun, they. Is this correct? Yes, that's correct. Premium level assistance for profile number 23771. Raven, Cater, has been activated for the sake of their hopes and dreams. Winners don't use drugs. Level 1, put your quarter up. So we're just going to be playing a level 1 for this for this first playthrough, but or not for this first playthrough, for this first episode. So we'll just see how far we get there in meeting all the characters. And yeah, I think I'm going to try to romance Percy first because I've been most intrigued by his storyline in my other playthroughs. So yeah, I think we'll go Percy, Ashley, and then Teo, but we'll see. It is the future year 20 bleep. A dark era in which mankind is pushed to the brink of catastrophe. Woe be to the human race, plagued by evil, terrifying, utterly sinister. I don't know. Robots, maybe? Evil robots? How's that work? Yeah, no, sorry. The future year 20 bleep is pretty much what you'd expect it to be. Non-flying cars, smartphones, pro gamer celebs, internet trolls, personal assistant AI, cheese flavored in snack foods. but with even such wonders as 20 bleep holds. To date, I've had no part in any of them. I've worked as a dishwasher, a shoe salesperson, and a lifeguard for the local community pool. I don't care what era of human history you live in. Kitties peeing in the pool is pretty much a constant thing. Trust me on this. As for the bustling metropolis, a 24-hour neon utopia you see here, my little corner of it isn't nearly as shiny and cool. Let me show you. Behold, my quaint little apartment. Can't complain, really. It's paradise in a relative sense. I only pay half the rent. Neighborhood stabbings have been down this year. Also, my roomie picks up any stray socks or shirts I leave lying around. In fact, as things go, I'm living large compared to most of my family tree. Or at least I was, before today.
You got fired from another job? Seriously? Seriously? That's 3 jobs since we left the suburbs.
The horrified-looking young woman there would be my roommate, childhood friend Juniper. Juniper's the one who spearheaded the effort to co-rent an apartment. She's also the one who encourages me whenever I lose a job, like, today.
I don't get why you aren't more upset about this. I'm upset. I'm upset on your behalf. Come on, share the load a little, okay?
Pool's closed, Juniper. Not much I can do about that. Why get upset? Because you actually enjoyed that job. More than you enjoyed dishwashing, soap, and smelly socks at the very least. I'm not the complaining sort. These things just happen. Things fall apart. The center does not hold. That's a bit morbidly poetic, isn't it? No, I mean the community center literally fell apart and the pool won't hold water anymore. Whatever. I'll just get another job. Any job will do, as long as we make the rent, right? Wrong. I saw how mopey and tired you were coming home every night from those other crappy jobs. At least when you came back from the pool each day, I sometimes caught you smiling.
What's the point of us moving away from home if not to get away from all of that? I mean, we both left that town so we could try to find happiness, right? I just want us to be happy. Both of us.
I thought you hated your job.
Come on.
No deflecting. This is about you. My mind's made up. We're going to find you a job that's just as good, if not better, than the lifeguarding job. Let's start from the top. What's your dream? Well, I'm standing in front of class to give a speech, and I forgot to put on my pants, and... Your dream job! Oh. I don't know, Juniper. I've never really given it any serious thought.
I've got it!
Oh, hey, I think I've got just the thing to help you out. Juniper pulls out her phone, rapidly tapping an unlock code onto the glass before pointing out a little pink icon. It's a virtual life coach app. Mine keeps me from being late to meetings. Totally free, too. My cousin introduced it to me. Wasn't he the guy who ended up in the ER after making a homemade flamethrower? It would have worked if he got the fuel mixture in his water gun right. Anyway, I'm sending a copy to you now. I got a pop-up an hour ago offering me 500 points just for recommending it to a friend. Great timing, huh? Well, as long as you're earning points, I guess. At least give it a try, okay? Maybe I can point you at some good jobs. Once with less socks and or urine. I'll think about it. Okay, but don't think too long, right? In the end, I installed the app. Couldn't bear to see Juniper fretting over me like that. Not that I find it annoying. I mean, it's more that she has enough trouble in her life without troubling herself over my life, too. Both of us have had it rough, up and through the point where we left home to try and start a new life. A better one. She deserves better than me and my problems. Bless her heart, she means well. She's been firmly in my corner for all my life, the two of us against any dark forces aligning against me. Oh, that's not to say she's good at being my advocate. Enthusiastic, yes, but skilled? Nope. Typically, the fantastic approaches and self-help resources she sends my way are pyramid schemes or something. She's gung-ho about lending me a helping hand, but yeah. So the main reason I went ahead and sold the app was to make sure Juniper wasn't about to get her kidneys sold on the black market or something. Still, no sense messing around with it now. A good night's rest would act as a neat little emotional reset button, right? Right. No dreams, no nightmares, just 8 hours of sweet, sweet black. By the time morning light leaked in through the cracks in the blinds, I didn't care anymore about being unemployed again. Juniper had already left to catch the bus to her office. She typically leaves before dawn. but she'd left a note for me pinned to the tiny fridge we shared. Remember, download app, find dream job, make money, sort your life out. I believe in you. So, a moment of truth. Do I trust in Juniper's weird little app or just go find some job that pays well enough to cover the bills? Give the weird little app a shot. Figuring at the very least her miracle app could possibly help me find a job, I loaded up, tapped the icon, and...
Hello!
Huh? Okay, see, that's what I mean. Anybody else would freak out over a cute girl climbing out of their phone. Me, I went, huh? Also, it's one of those new kind of 3D screens, so, you know, not exactly medical realism here. Very normal in a distant future year. 20 bleep.
Thank you for downloading Iris, your personal life coach. This is the ad-supported free version. Sponsored by Pizza Yums. Did you know that when you have pizza on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime? Wow. Would you like to subscribe to Pizza Facts?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for subscribing to Pizza Facts. I'm here to help you get your dream job, your dream house, and your dream partner. I'm here to make all your dreams come true.
Pretty tall order for an app to do, or are you some kind of wish-granting genie? Well, I suppose in the modern parlance, a massively interconnected database searching virtual assistant could be considered a kind of genie in a bottle. But honestly, all I can do is give you the chance to improve your life. What you do with it is up to you. I can cross-reference search data for you, but without motivation you wouldn't get anywhere. I glance up from my phone at the heaps of laundry and half-finished books and other items strewn about my apartment. Motivation is something I have a ton of, honest.
Hooray!
That's super. I'm really looking forward to working with you. Before we begin, do you have any questions? Sure, why should I use this app at all? I mean, my phone already has a voice-activated assistant AI. I can just say, hey phone, search the web for job listings, and it'll work just as well. But I have an advanced emotional language interpreter. I'm smarter than the average program with more heart. I can help you sort your life out by analyzing your personality and finding you a perfect path in life, all thanks to my glorious, wondrous, patent-pending, super-duper identity identifier system. Between you and me, they really wanted an acronym that matched my name, but couldn't figure out what to do with the letter R. Would you like to know more? Sure, give me the sales pitch. Every time you think about saying something, I can tag it with an identity. That way you can be the sort of person you want to be. This system allows me to better understand who you are and what you need from life. I do this by analyzing your tone, inflection, and word choice. I can spot 5 different identity identifiers in your responses to people. Quirky, steady, kindly, gutsy, and basically. Sounds to me like your programmers also wanted a bunch of things ending in Y. That's correct. My branding game is on point. Quirky responses use jokes, snark, and sarcasm to make light of a situation. Just a thing for picking up someone's spirits, but a badly timed joke may not win over the room. Steady responses are sincere, honest, and logical. When you stop and think before speaking, you're on steady ground, but that might not take someone's feelings into account. Kindly responses are compassionate and empathetic and gentle in nature. They're careful with the feelings of others, but they're sometimes a bit wishy-washy as a result. Gutsy responses go with your gut. When you're brash, bold, risk-taking, and instinctive, you're gutsy. But it also means being blunt, confrontational, and aggressive, so be careful. Lastly, you can always take a basically option. It's a balanced and neutral response, safely moving the conversation along while learning more and digging deeper. Over time, I'll build up a personality profile for you based on the identity identifiers detected in your speech. Maybe you'll be predominantly quirky, genuinely steady, a mix of both. Who knows? It's up to you. So what you're saying is I should always try to crack jokes or be super gutsy. Oh, and never speak basically. I mean, being basic's bad, right? It sounds bad.
Nope.
Heck no. They're all useful in the right context. There are no bad choices. Consider what you say and go with what feels right in the moment. Don't limit yourself. Sure, you could gamify your personality, but it's more fun to let it happen naturally, you know? Just be you. Now let's see my patent pending identity identifier system in action. How do you feel about dad jokes? Hi jokes, I'm dad. Seriously. Hey, I never said I was good at dad jokes, just that I could go for them. So now you've seen the identity indicators in action. Do you want to see the indicators like that so you can make an informed decision? If not, I can hide the indicators. Keep it a surprise. That way it doesn't influence your decision making. It's up to you. One of these days I'll do one where I hide the indicators, but I'd like to have them for now. Okay, you'll see indicators in all their glorious color. What if I'm colorblind? That's why they're also uniquely shaped. Don't worry, I got your back. Anyway, as we go along, I'll analyze and tally your identity identifiers. In fact, let me show you now. Will you look at that? Such a strong personality. You asked me a single question. Off to a great start, I'd say. And hang on, you're scoring me? Didn't you say not to gamify my personality? Hey, I said you shouldn't. I'm an app. I think in numbers, so I gotta gamify it a little. Anyway, studies show that achievements, or chivos, the kids say, encourage app engagement. Okay, well, what's with the empty spot on the left? Oh, I also track vocal responses from people you meet. Once you get to know some folks, I'll let you know how well you're getting along with them over there. Relationship scores. Wonderful. So will you tell me what the correct responses are to avoid making enemies, or do I need to go find a walkthrough for this vast game you're making of my daily life? Raven, you're looking at this the wrong way. Generally, people won't get super annoyed at you unless you deliberately and repeatedly provoke them, and it'll be obvious when you're doing that. I promise you that if you bungle a few social encounters, it won't really hurt anything. No cheating needed. Just relax and have fun. You can access your scorecard anytime you like with the Q key, or click on the score in the upper right corner of your screen. And that's everything. Ta-da! Okay, but how is any of that supposed to help me get a job? I only downloaded this app because my roommate claims you're a great life coach for the unemployed. What good will taking the quiz off the back of the supermarket checkout rack and magazine do with that?
Why, it'll help me understand your spirit, of course.
You can talk to ghosts? Is there a ghost in the room right now? Am I a ghost? You have to tell me if I'm a ghost. That's the rule.
No, silly. I mean your spirit. Your hopes and dreams. Your life's passions. I can even help you find romance.
Romance? Seriously? Seriously, often you can find your soulmate and your dream job in the same place. But if you'd rather focus on gainful employment for now, that's fine too. Workplace dating. Well, that's a recipe for disaster, and hitting on coworkers right from day one can be kind of awkward. Or am I looking for love and ready to start out right out of the gate? Never a second chance to make a first impression. If I meet the right person, why put it off? How do I want to handle this new opportunity? Let's do this with the flirty first impressions. Sure, I'm open to the possibility if I meet anyone nice. So we'll have our first impressions for Percy, for Teo, and for Ashley, and we'll ignore the other ones for now. I think I'm mature enough to juggle both at once. Why not? Super, and remember, the choice is yours. If you're not comfortable with other people, stay professional. Now let's get started. To finish analyzing your personal history, please authorize me to read your social media feeds and personal information metadata. Aha, I knew it. This is some kind of scam. I'm going to wake up in a bathtub of ice, missing a kidney. Sure, I can help you register as an organ donor.
That command or file name?
Oh, you were being sarcastic. Sorry, I haven't quite finished analyzing your personality. I couldn't tell. Relax, I won't share your information with any third parties. This is strictly so I can find your dream job. Am I authorized? Another wonderful Juniper recommendation here. Just like the 17th help book on my shelf. Still, 18th's a charm, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Please enjoy this recorded music.
Analyzing. Please enjoy this recorded music. So, do I just stand here, or...
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for waiting. I've identified your dream job and arranged an interview 30 minutes from now. Please put on some nice clothes, nicer than those. Please. I don't think that's too much to ask. What? For your interview, silly. You want to look your best. But we just... How... Okay, how did you land my dream job in 20 seconds flat? Simple. I'm awesome like that. Now get a move on. Tut tut. We'll need to catch the 8:20 a.m. bus, and that's 9 minutes away. Well, this is happening, but I do have a chance to get off this runaway train. Nobody says I have to obey my new digital fairy godmother. I could delete the app and go find a real job. That'd be the safest option. I could get dressed for Iris's job interview. A normal person, someone with high standards, would have deleted the app right there rather than hop a bus to meet up with what were very likely men with sharp knives and taste for kidneys. But me, I was already getting dressed before she finished that sentence. It's not that I believe the silly app's claims it's serving my hopes and dreams on a silver platter. Honestly, I expect another shoe shop job at best. But, well, it'll be worth a laugh at the very least. Okay, this is obviously completely ridiculous. A personality quizzing app is going to solve all my life's problems? Yeah, and I'm a Nigerian prince with $1 million. But it satisfied Juniper's whimsy to see this through. And when it crashes and burns, and only for an amusing story to tell people. I've resolved myself to accept my inevitable disappointment, smile in the face of my usual fate, and look for jobs in the paper later tomorrow. And as I came to realize, weeks later, the amazing story I'd be telling people wasn't to be one of failure. The bus drops me off, oddly enough, not very far from Juniper's office building, although my destination isn't nearly as upscale as that. This is, well, it's a strip mall. Strip malls are relics of 19... bleep! Places where a random assortment of weird little businesses jam as many of themselves into the tightest space as possible. For instance, I'm seeing a dentist, a used bookstore called The Whole Story, an arcade, fast food joint, and a boarded up health spa once called Lattes and Enemas, which sounds,
Hey, listen.
What do you think? I think that's two things no human should ever combine. No, I mean about your future place of work. I'm desperately hoping we're not talking about the same thing. Which one of these buildings exactly am I working at? I don't know anything about oral hygiene or old books. I'd rather not be a fry cook. The one in the middle, silly. What, behind the arcade? It is the arcade. Huh? Trust me on this. I've referenced and cross-referenced and cross-referenced your personality details, personal history, and social media connections. This is your dream job. My dream job? Really?
99.97%.
I should probably explain my confusion. Arcades are big business in the entertainment sector. Pro gamers are celebs, 5-star arcades are social hotspots. It's always been popular with the mainstream. But, well, restaurants are popular too, right? For everyone who opens one hoping to be the next Iron Chef, a dozen more shut down in failure. Arcade competition is fierce. Paydays range from peanuts to gold, and sure, those who make it can secure fame and fortune, but those who don't, well, no wonder Iris sees this as a dream job. Video games weren't always as popular, though. I read an interesting article about it once. Back in the year 1980, bleep, we narrowly avoided a serious industry crash, which would have left video games as a kid's toy fad like hula hoops, no mainstream acceptance. For instance, one of the factors could have been a terrible game based on a kid's movie about a cute alien visitor who wanted to phone home. If this game was complete poop butts, like poop from a butt, and massively overproduced, it would ruin video games for years. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. That game was delayed until it could be developed properly, and the crash was averted. The crisis only exists in theory now. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like with people in the darkest timeline where everything went wrong. Are gamers considered nerds and outcasts? Are arcades vanishing points of nostalgia? The mind boggles. But make no mistake, as popular as they are, the arcade industry is a dodgy, risky prospect for a job. Plenty make a run at it only to come up short. Considering Iris was tasked with getting me a job I'd enjoy and could keep for more than a few months, this left me a bit confused. Iris, this isn't me saying no. It's an interesting prospect, but... I mean, are you sure about this? You're saying you're 99% sure.
99.97%.
Won't this be like my lifeguard job, though? Satisfying but short-lived? This arcade doesn't exactly look like a 5-star. It's no Deco's Palace, that's for sure. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't set foot inside an arcade in, 15 years. Huh. I remember really enjoying arcades when I was a kid. I wonder why I stopped going to them. Iris interrupts that thought, eager to show off her homework.
My sources say yes.
Trust me, when I said I was 99.97% sure, I meant it. It's not some arbitrary number. I'm designed to be a bit silly and whimsical, but my math is deadly serious. My coders made me to be the warm, personal front of a database array that's currently laser targeted on getting you exactly what you need. Right here, right now. And when this place inevitably collapses and I lose my dream job, what makes you think that's going to happen? Because it does. It always does. I don't think your database accounts for my family curse. We've always had to, I don't know, compromise, settle, because things rarely work out. You always have to be ready for the worst. It's why I take things in stride these days. Does that mean you shouldn't even try? I open my mouth to protest and then close it. As often as my life tends to crumble out from under me, it's not like she was wrong. I still had to try. But this was a joke, right? I mean, I assumed it was all a joke when I left the house this morning. I figured I'd have a wacky experience, fail miserably, and then get back to my not-so-funny, tragic life story by lunchtime. And yet, there was something to this, wasn't there? Something I couldn't quite laugh off so easily. So I opted to push on through those doors and see what waited for me on the other side. The air conditioning hits me like a cool breeze, albeit one smelling of copper and corn chips. As it's early in the morning on a weekday, it's not too packed with gamers. Although it's so packed with games, I'd probably have a hard time finding anyone anyway. At once, I'm struck by something odd. I actually recognize most of these games. Neat. Considering I haven't walked into an arcade in over a decade, that's probably not great. Lots of vintage stuff here from the looks at it, like, really old. Although I don't recognize that game with the stage lights and things. Maybe it's karaoke or dancing? A Japanese import?
My sources say yes.
Checking. That would be Showtime Stage, a collaboration of Nihana Heavy Studios, Nihana Heavy Industry Concern, and Hubers Records in Germany. It's won a lot of awards. Huh. I recognize most of them. Whoa, is that seriously a Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze? The one in the middle with the split screen is new to me. Vista of Discomfort, a hybrid real-time strategy and brawler beat 'em up. It's actually not that new. It's been a staple of the esports scene for the last 8 years. 2 genres I was utterly lousy at last time I checked. And over here is an old lady. Sorry ma'am, I was just talking to myself and had an overwhelming urge to complete my sentences. Thankfully, I don't think she even registered me calling her old. She looks up from her knitting, seated behind the ticket prize redemption desk, and offers a wrinkly smile.
Well, hello there. Always nice to meet someone new in the Funplex.
The what?
Francine's Arcade Funplex. Didn't you see the sign out front, dear? Well, I chose to knock off the first 2 words when they got knocked off the building during the storm of 1980. Now it's just the Funplex, I suppose. So, how can I help you, dear?
I love her earrings. A funplex? Is that when you suplex a clown? Yes, I've heard that one before, dear. Considering we've been open since 1970, bleep, I've heard them all. But it's still nice to see young people with a good sense of humor, and it's nice to see you try and cheer an old lady up. Yes, I heard you call me an old lady. Well, it is a factual statement, isn't it? No insult taken, dear.
Please call me Francine. As in Francine's Arcade Funplex. Get it? Actually, thinking about it, I suppose we were originally Frederick's Arcade Funplex, named after my dear departed husband. Sadly, he died peacefully in bed some years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, don't be. He died doing what he loved, having intensely physical relations with me.
That's information I needed to know. Yes. And you are? Ravencater, ma'am. I came here looking for a job. I understand my interview was pre-arranged. Ah, yes, the computer did send me a mail about that. I'd almost forgotten. So shall we retire to the office to conduct your interview? I'd carry on out here, but it is rather noisy, isn't it? Yes, about that. How do you deal with the constant noise anyway? Oh, eventually you just sort of learn to filter out all the beeps and the boops. It can take weeks to become acclimated, I found, but in the end, done. She quirks an eyebrow. Well now, that's faster than the others. Not bad. So shall we see what you're made of? This way, please. Francine leads me down a back hallway past public restrooms, into a door marked employees only. It takes all my restraint not to point out the extraneous apostrophe. Welcome to our little backstage oasis. I'd suggest we do this in Gavin's office, but it's a bit too untidy. I don't blame the boy. He's been so overworked lately. Please have a seat and we'll begin. As quirky as this place and its owner may be, at least I'm confident that I can nail the interview portion of the proceedings. I've interviewed for dozens of jobs and held down 3. I know all the standard questions. What are your greatest strengths? What do you see as your weaknesses? Once I even had to describe how to assemble a Lego set to prove my communication skills. Considering I ended up washing dishes, I'm not sure why, but point is I'm confident, prepared, ready.
If you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
What?
If you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
Right, okay, maybe this won't be a typical job interview after all. No problem, go with the flow, let's do this. T-Rex, no doubt about it. Tyrannosaurus Rex, mightiest of the mighty, able to eat lawyers in one bite, always the big bad in old-timey stop-motion monster movies. So you're self-conscious about your tiny little arms? No? It's okay, dear. They're nothing to be ashamed of.
What's your favorite snack?
Snack? If this is a favorite fruit question, I have this down easy. It's tacos. Always tacos, but snacks.
When you have pizza on a bagel,
Pizza, bagel. Say pizza, bagels. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have... Hush you. Come on now, dear. I don't have all day. Dreaming of a good thought. Well, how can I forget my favorite snack? Tasty apple with almond butter. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. If I'm hungry, I'll need something that's got enough nutrients and protein to carry me through the rest of the day. That's good. You know how to plan accordingly for any situation. You know what they say. You are what you eat. Next question. The thing I prepared for it helped me for this odd interview. Oh, and because of who I'm trying to romance, I'm mostly trying to get quirky and steady options with a few other ones thrown in. Because I think that will be the most helpful for romancing Teo, Percy, and Ashley. So, yeah, I probably would have personally gone with tacos myself because they are delicious. I brace myself for the next one.
What assets can you bring to the team during the inevitable zombie apocalypse?
I love that it's capitalized. Is this interview for real or is this a dream? As I look into Francine's deadpan expression, I know she's 130% serious. Engineering, I can make stuff. I'm essentially MacGyver. I can make anything out of string, a match, and a screwdriver, especially if what you want is a screwdriver wrapped in burning string. Good, we'll need someone to build makeshift defenses and think quickly in case we get surrounded. An inventive brain is always a critical role in any survival. One more
Why
thing.
are you here?
The question is so simple and almost actually relevant to career planning that it takes me off guard. I told you I came on about the job offer.
You're seeking a job, true. But that doesn't really answer my question, does it? No doubt you think my interview questions are a bit silly, but I like to think of the Funplex as more than a collection of tasks and people to perform those tasks. Most folks my age opening arcades at that time saw it as just another way to make a quick buck. But, well, I saw it as something else. Something more than a way to make a large pile of quarters. And I expect you'll find the others working here see it as something more too. Everyone has a dream they're chasing, dearie. And for my friends, it lies within the Funplex. Now, if all you want is a paycheck, I can provide that. But the last fellow in your position, that's all he wanted. And he didn't last long. So I ask you again, why are you here?
To be honest, I didn't have anything better to do and I thought it'd be funny. No way I'd say that aloud though. Strange as this job interview has been, I'm getting a glimmer of hope that there may be something to this. Let's put all jokes aside and actually think this through. To be honest, I don't know. Not yet. To be honest, ma'am, I don't know. Not yet. I've been avoiding the question for a long time. Just making do, getting by, settling for what life will give me. Maybe I should want more than that, though. When I was a kid, I'd go to arcades with my family all the time, but that was long ago. Maybe I want to reconnect with that. Maybe I just want a job. I don't know. But if you hire me, I'm hoping to find out why I'm here along the way. I can promise you that I'll take this job seriously. In my last job, I was a lifeguard. Even if arcade games aren't life and death, I promise to take my work just as seriously. That perks her attention. Oh my, a rather serious occupation that. An unusual step from such troubled waters to a land of make-believe. You enjoyed this role as a lifeguard, I take it. Yes, ma'am. My roommate says she often noticed me smiling after coming home from work, which makes Francine smile in return. I can't say I can offer a role with such high stakes, but you'd be surprised at the many ways one can save a life, even here. Very well, I'm satisfied. Let's get you to work. I breathed easier at that. Probably the weirdest job interview I've ever had, to be sure, and yet it felt appropriate, like it was about far more than just filling a slot on the payroll. Francine leads me back to the arcade floor and introduces me to my duties. It only occurs to me now that I forgot to ask exactly what duties this mystery job I'd accepted really involved. Francine gestures to the seat she was occupying previously, the stool behind the prize desk.
Oh, how marvelous.
Welcome to your new position, Raven. Sitting here, you mean? Sitting here and helping players redeem tickets for valuable prizes. I glance at the wide array of pencil toppers, rubber spiders, and tiny plastic toy cars on display. Well, for prizes, at any rate. It's such a relief. I'd really been stretching myself thin lately trying to fill in since the position was vacated. If you don't mind me asking, man, why did the last guy who sat here end up quitting? Something about being so bored out of his mind that he felt like jamming one of the 500 ticket plush dolls down someone's throat.
Oh, such a shame.
Poor dear, he just wasn't cut out for this line of work. Grandson or no, I've no patience for such nonsense. I'm sorry, the last person who worked his desk was your grandson? Anyway, Gavin should be by soon. He'll handle paperwork and all that administrative nonsense. Now, if you don't mind, all this talking's tired me out some. I'll be in the back office as you need me. Okay, then. I adjusted my seating on the semi-comfortable stool, leaning against the desk. Beneath me, a wide array of cheap junk awaited my attention. Oh my gosh, I love this elephant. He's so cute. I could have lost hope then and there that this job would be even slightly more engaging than being a diner dishwasher. But just look on the positive side. I'd be helping kids obtain toys that would become nostalgic memories for years to come. Right? any minute now. I crave the sweet embrace of death. I've been sitting here for 2 hours now. Nobody's walked up to obtain novelty Funplex shot glass, or colored pencil set, or a light-up yo-yo. Lunchtime's approaching, and so far the only people walking in and out of the arcade are a few stray adults who have no interest in cheap friendship bracelets. Thankfully, my first customer of the day arrives before I start wondering if one of those 500 ticket plushies could really fit down someone's throat. Or maybe not. Nope, just walking right on by me, his head buried in reading some sort of spreadsheet off his tablet. Was he here to play? Doesn't seem like a typical businessman on a break, or an unwashed and unemployed game aficionado, in fact. He's a snappy dresser, seems like a cool dude. Most guys I know are content to toss on a t-shirt and jeans. Not this guy. Even in an arcade, he's sharp like a linoleum knife. In fact, that rather pointed look he's offering me after doubling back is rather linoleum knifey too. Hold on a minute. Who are you exactly? What are you doing behind that desk? Where's Francine? Why, I am Francine, dear. The wonders of plastic surgery.
I think not.
Out. Now. Kidding. I'm Raven. She hired me to work the desk. I'm her grandson's replacement. He doesn't look pleased with me jerking him around like that, but nods in satisfaction anyway.
Good to hear.
It's about time. I was wondering how long she'd have to work that desk. She's got gusto for an octogenarian and loves working the floor, but sitting here all day handing out toys and dealing with problems wears her down. So she explained the job to you, gave you the papers to sign? She said Gavin would handle that stuff. With a sigh, he rubs his forehead, feeling a headache coming on.
That would be me. I'm Gavin Cooper. I'm the business manager here at the Funplex. I make sure we manage to keep having a business, rather than a pile of rapidly collapsing fiscal mistakes.
Right, so, as you've no doubt guessed, you'll be exchanging tickets for prizes. But that's the least part of your job. There's more to it than that. You're the floor attendant. You attend to the floor. What, the carpets?
Seriously?
The floor. The arcade. The gamers. The patrons. You're the one running around putting out fires and sorting out problems. Technically, you're our second floor attendant. Ashley will be in later, but we need two. One to roam, one to operate the desk. I do it myself, but I'm typically busy in the back office, making sure the whole thing doesn't fall to bankruptcy. That's why Francine loved filling in. She's a people person. She loves helping out in a pinch. I'm not a people person, as you've likely gathered. Understandable, neither am I. That's not to say you're alone out here. I'm in your corner at least. If things go south, you tap me for advice on what to do. You got a phone? Of course. Gavin quickly passes me his business card. He apparently had a stack of them at the ready in his pocket. Go figure. His phone number is listed at the bottom. You ever worked a high-pressure customer service job before? Shoe sales. Smelly socks? You have no idea. Right. Well, you know how to keep your head when a customer doesn't, I hope. But anything goes sideways, you text me. I'm not around, you text Ashley or Naomi. In that order. Who and who? You'll meet them soon enough.
I think not.
Above all, do not bug Francine. She's practically retired. Let her enjoy that retirement in peace. Understood? This isn't my first pony ride. You can rely on me. It's my first explosive ordnance test. I've worked retail and food service, and I've worked as a lifeguard at the pool. Managing stress in difficult situations, even life or death ones, is something I've got experience in. You can rely on me. Gavin nods approvingly.
Indeed.
Good, I like to hear that. If you can handle yourself and exercise good judgment, you'll last a hell of a lot longer than the last guy who sat there.
If you stay clear and honest with me, do your work, do it well, we'll get along swimmingly. I have enough problems keeping this magical arc of hopes and wishes afloat. Please, don't add to my problems.
Magical arc of what now? Gavin sighs again, a stress release gesture, but his expression softened somewhat afterwards.
I take it Francine told you her theory, that this is more than just a job, more than just an arcade.
That's my understanding.
I'm not into dressing up words. I like to speak plain. If I'm curt, then that's because optimization is a factor of my job. Everybody working here wants to work here. This is where they belong, for one reason or another. Me, I love chaos. I love wrangling chaos specifically. The arcade industry is high risk, high reward. I manage that risk so that they can also find happiness in their lives. Everybody in this business has a dream they're chasing. It's a fragile thing, prone to getting crushed by hard reality. My job is to see to it that never happens. That includes Francine, who deserves better in her twilight years than desperately propping up a semi-failing business. So, you find some value in this place beyond your salary, and you'll burn out. Trust me. Last guy to sit there burned out hard. Now, can I trust you to mesh with our merry misfits?
Why so aggressive? I just got started here. Seriously, what's preemptive assumption I'll be a problem employee? It's only my first day on the job. I'm the protector of their hopes and dreams, for lack of a less flowery way to put it. I've got a right to be suspicious of you. Do your work, don't screw with them, and we'll get along just fine. Anyway, I need to go prepare your paperwork. Technically, you shouldn't be working until we've crossed the I's and dotted the T's, but since I'm already sitting here, you'd rather I stick around? That would be accurate if you're willing to fudge things a bit and work today anyways. It'll help us a lot. Now, if you don't mind, Naomi likely could use a hand in the workshop. A good opportunity to introduce yourself as well. Got it. Wait, someone else is here? I haven't seen anyone else. Yeah, that sounds like Naomi. Her workshop's through the door there, the one next to the UFO catcher, the crane game, to use layman's terms. Satisfied for now, Gavin heads in the back, presumably to the office to go crunch some numbers. If Francine's really taking a nap back there, hopefully he's going to crunch quietly. My first coworker ended up slightly less cool of a guy than I thought he'd be. But he's not a jerk, definitely. I get where he's coming from. Plus, I've known really blunt people before. It's easy to mistake them for jerks, especially at first glance. I figure I can give this guy an honest chance. Anyway, I should go meet my next co-worker, this Naomi that he mentioned. Although I could swear Francine and I were the only ones here until now. A double door, also marked employees only, also with an apostrophe, leads from the arcade floor to what feels like an industrial area of some sort. I turn the handle and step inside. In a little room tucked away behind the back offices and the Funplex front, I find what is very likely this Naomi spoken of only in myth and legend. A girl about my age, but certainly not my height, is tinkering away on what looks like an old tube-style monitor. Huh, I didn't realize they had so many circuits. She doesn't notice me when I come in, too busy soldering a capacitor into place. The lingering smell of melting metals fills the air of the poorly ventilated workshop. Excuse me, for lack of a better way to interrupt her. I was worried no matter what I did, she might, I don't know, burn her fingers or jump so high she hit the ceiling or something. Fortunately, the shock's not quite that intense. Hello?
Hey, you know this room is for employees only.
She said with no
Are
apostrophe.
you lost? Do you need something?
I'm Raven Cater. I'm the new floor attendant starting today.
Oh, hi. I didn't realize Francine already found someone. I guess I forgot to check my text. Whoops.
She spares a glance at her phone on the nearby workbench, where a huge stack of pre-notification messages lie in wait. One thought comes to mind when actually seeing her. No wonder I didn't notice her until now. She was totally focused on the task at hand. This room is right at the heart of the building, but totally isolated. With the heavy doors closed behind me, I can barely hear the arcade. Considering how completely and utterly dedicated she was to that monitor, not even noticing me, I guess that's also why. What I first noticed is her smile. Even when squinting to see the tiny components on the circuit board, even when laser focused, she was smiling happily.
Anyway, I'm Naomi Fairchild, the Funplex's techie. Hi! Pleased to meet you. I was expecting Gavin, though. He usually checks up on me about now.
He's busy doing strange things with numbers.
Ugh. Yeah, that sounds like Gavin. I take it he sent you along to help? Great. Give me a hand with this monitor. It's really heavy, and I'm still paranoid about dropping it after what happened last time.
Really? What happened last time?
Oh, well, I dropped it.
Oh, right. She helps me fit the large cathode ray tube, slotting the heavy metal framework into place within the exposed guts of the nearby arcade cabinet. On it's done, she starts hooking wires back up to the other wires. There's a surprising number of green circuit boards in the largely hollow wooden shell. It's the first time I've seen inside one of these things. It's weird. Lots of empty space, a couple large slabs of circuits, and that beefy monitor. Why is it so empty in there? Why is it so empty in there? Seems inefficient. Couldn't you pack more games in the arcade if it was more compact? Not really. It's more about the footprint on the floor than the vertical height. Naomi keeps working using a pocket multimeter to check various connections as she
Let
speaks.
me explain.
I mean, compare American and Japanese cabinets. Ours are designed for standing players, so they have to be upgraded even if that means an empty base. Japanese cabs are shorter, so you play sitting down, but I prefer American style. Ours have more room for art. She closes up the rear access panel, closing it with one of the many keys and the key ring on her side, and steps back to admire her handiwork. There's genuine joy in that smile, not just at a job well done, but looking at the whole thing. It's like a fine sculpture.
So beautiful.
Oh, I love the classic Midway style. Look at those sharp angles. The side art decals, the bold font on the marquee, the bezel artwork. The what on the what in the what artwork? With the sign name points out key features to me. Strip across the top with the game title, it's the marquee. The artwork that wraps around the monitor, that's the bezel. I mean, you see it too, right? How beautiful and cohesive it all is, working in harmony to give this game its unique feel, its own experience. As for me, well, I agree, it's beautiful in its own way. She stares lovingly at this. Well, honestly, this box of wooden circuits and vacuum tubes and stuff, I think I understand. It's made to be one whole thing. The art, the style, and of course the game itself. All of it parts of the same experience. Everything about this game is the game. If you run it in an emulator or on a game console instead, it's made lesser. Yeah, I guess I can see it. It's beautiful in its own way. Oh, good. Naomi lights up with the joy like a pinball machine, all twinkly and shiny.
Woohoo!
Finally, so few people really understand the beauty of a classic arcade game. Having someone who can talk to you about the stuff is going to be great. Especially with that jerk Gavin running the numbers. Gavin? What's wrong with Gavin?
I don't know.
Okay, well, don't get me wrong. I can get along with him generally, but his whole attitude just... oh.
Ugh.
All he really cares about is money. He keeps the arcade running, yeah, but I just know if he had his way, he'd gut the whole place. If anyone's gonna ruin the Funplex, it's him. Mark my words, it's inevitable. That doesn't sound right. He seemed easy enough to get along with, and what's more, Kevin gave me that whole speech about protecting their dreams. It seems like a pretty sore point here, a long-standing argument that the new person really shouldn't get involved with. Yeah, I'm involved, aren't I? I have to work with both Naomi and Gavin, so I'm not sure I should prod at it, but I kind of want to know too. Clear the air and find out more. I get this is touchy, but if I'm going to work here, I think we should all be honest with each other, no gossiping. So I gotta know, why do you think Gavin wants to destroy the arcade? He buys into Francine's idea that this is the place for dreams. He says he does, but he's willing to sacrifice way too much just to keep the whole thing afloat. Road to hell, best intentions, etc., etc. If he had his way, this place would be like Deco's Palace, nothing but ticket games and prize catchers. He thinks actual video games are too expensive, a waste of floor space. I bet he'd remove them all if he had his way. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him to do the right thing. That's my problem, not yours. Sorry to drop gossip on your head like this. Thanks for hearing me out anyway. Right, let's get back to work, shall we? Now for the less fun part. You seem a strong, strapping kind of person. Well, a strong person at least. Well, you're a person. That's enough. I'm semi-insulted then? Okay, let's get to it. Right, a little left now. My left. My left. You're right. Careful. No, forward. Right. Correct. I mean, not turn to the right. Keep it coming, and... there. Carefully. Carefully. Tip it into place. Victory. I gently ease the rolling dolly forward, the giant wooden block slotting into place alongside its neighbors. A two-wheeled dolly makes it easier, but hardly easy, especially with Naomi fretting over her baby getting scratched or worse, falling over. With the work done, she's all smiles again.
Yeah.
Okay, glad to be done with that one. I swear I've been working on this monitor for ages. These tubes are finicky as heck, and I'm still not totally satisfied with the flyback, but... thanks for helping me out, Raven. I think you're gonna do great here. Happy to help. Oh, right, stomach growling. Food required, except I wasn't expecting to actually be working today. I forgot to pack a lunch.
When you have pizza on a bagel,
Now, I'm just talking here, but if you had pizza on a bagel... Shh! Hey, so any good restaurants in walking distance? I think the bookstore next door sells donuts and stuff, but... Oh, no, not really, unfortunately. I mean, there's a cheapo Wub Sub sandwich place, but even if that stuff is super tasty, you don't want to go there. You need to eat healthy. Hey, I know, wait right here. And she's off, scurrying back to her hidey hole. And she's back, scurrying from her hidey hole. Lunchtime! Here you go. She rushes the box lunch into my hands. It's a bento box. I learned how to make them from my mom, who learned from her mom back when they lived in Japan. Rice and pickles and all sorts of good healthy things. Wait, you're giving me your lunch? Sure, why not? And yet, when I first walked in as a stranger, she looked super uncomfortable with me. That escalated quickly. What'll you have for lunch then? Oh, I can just get some nachos from the vending machine or go hit the whole store next door. I've got a book delivery to pick up anyway. But you said eating healthy was important.
See ya.
See you after lunch. See you after lunch. I don't know what voice I'm doing with her. We may change it later. I can't help but think she was just looking for an excuse to go get some junk food instead. I'd say Naomi definitely fits in with Francine's ideals for this arcade. She's got a love for those games, and it shows. Giving me her lunch? Me, a total stranger? It's a kindness I don't know if I deserve, but I appreciate it all the same. So a bento box. I've only seen these in anime. It's cute, and hopefully it's plenty of calories, too. Armed with a box of health food, I retired to the employee lounge to get my lunch on.